Hello guys and welcome back. Now this is the continuation of our last video. Please, I urge you to go back and watch the previous video I just posted. This is the continuation. We are making this beautiful cowl sleeve for that blouse, so you need to watch it together for you to really understand. We drafted this pattern from that blouse. Okay, so this is our sleeve pattern. I'm sure you already know how to draft a sleeve pattern. This is a sleeve pattern. Now the only alteration I've made so far is to add 0.75 at the tip of my sleeve so that we can get this curve up like this. So we're going to use slash and spread to get a beautiful cowl sleeve out of this basic sleeve. So this is just a short sleeve. If you want yours to be long, please go ahead and extend it to the length of your sleeve. Okay, so now that I have it like this, the most important part I'd like to concentrate on is this side. So I'm going to divide the space from my cap sleeve head to this point. I'm going to divide it. So now I've carefully divided this space and I'm going to trace it out so that they can reflect on this side. Go ahead and divide this space. You can divide it into 3, into 4, you know, as much slash lines that you desire. That is what you are going to get out of this space. So this is how you will do it. Get your tracing wheel and trace it out like this so it will reflect on this side. Now what I would like to do now is to open up and then I'm going to mark it out. So after tracing them out like this to make it visible, I'm going to now label it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to cut it out. Now before I cut it out, I would like to mark my center line. Important. So this is 1. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. And I'm going to come in with a fresh paper like this. You can see I've already marked the center line. I'm going to place it and then I'll bring all my slash lines and then I'm going to tape this one here so that it sticks. Now I have to make sure that this center line is matching up with what we have here and then I'm going to tape it down. Go ahead and mark how much fullness you want to add. So after marking it, I'll start placing it. So the first one is the number 5, right? So I'll place it like this. After giving out this space, make sure it's aligned with this line. Then I'll go ahead and tape it down. Now the next one is the number 4. I'll grab it and I'll impute my space here. And I'll paste it like this, making sure it aligns. So I'll mark out my space again and I'll place the third one. I'll go ahead and tape it down. I'll mark out my space again. I'll place the number 2. Then I'll mark the last space and I'll paste the last one. This is the number 1. Now after marking it, I'm going to connect them, each and every one of them, to, you know, to get the normal curve of a sleeve. Just make sure you get something and then I'll turn my curve rule to connect it to the armhole. So I'll cut it out. So can you see the amount of volume I've added to this cowl sleeve? Now I'm going to go ahead again and place it in another sheet so that we can add more volume to the body proper. You know, that depends totally on you. Some people, this is already enough for them. They can go ahead and transfer to fabric, but I still want to add a bit of fullness to the body itself. So that is what I'm going to do right now. So I'll come in with a clean pattern paper like so. I'm going to place it. So I'll also locate the midpoint and mark it. So I'm going to place my pattern on it, making sure that the midpoint is meeting up with this midpoint. You can see. So I'm going to mark it at this point. I'm going to go ahead and slash it through like this until I get to this point, but I will not slash completely through, and then I'll open it up so that I can add more volume. Then I'm going to place it at the midpoint and then I'll tape it down as well. So by the time I open it up, you will now determine how much fullness that you want to add. So right now I'm going to add 4 inches and I'll mark 4 inches here. I'll come over to this other side and I'll mark 4 inches. So the next thing I did was to further blend up the top of the sleeve. I'm going to go up from this center point by 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to carefully connect it to meet up with this. You can also use your free hand to do it. Connect it and do the same thing at this other side. Just blend it properly. We follow the same shape. We're going to add 0.5 allowance when we transfer to fabric. So just mark out this out like this. This is the volume of our sleeve. So I'll go ahead now and cut it out all around. So at the end of the day, this is what we have. This is our cap sleeve. So that when we are transferring to, this is the fabric I'll be using for this sleeve. Because I actually wanted the drapes to flow, I'm using this soft crepe fabric. But if you want yours to be structured, you can go ahead and use a heavyweight fabric. So I'm going to fold this into 2 and place my fabric on it, and then you place your pattern on it like so. I put it on fold because I want to make sure to notch all these points one after the other so that they can reflect on the other side. So this is what to do. I'm going to add 0.5 sewing allowance all through, and I'm going to now cut it out. So the allowance is by choice because if you can remember, we have added enough allowance to this sleeve. So it's just by choice. If you want, you can as well go ahead and stitch it up like that. It does not still matter. This is me trying to add the just sewing allowance. So I'm going to sew on this allowance I'm adding here. So I'm going to do my notches accordingly. It's important you notch because at the end of the day, we are still going to drape this and still form our sleeve at the end of the day. Can you see? So these notches is where we are going to pick from and notch them all through, and then I'll cut the second sleeve and then I'll drape them down. So I've cut out the second sleeve. I'll open it up now. You can see the notches that I made. So this is what it looks like. So I'll start forming once I form, I'll pin it down. I'll go over to this one and then I pin it down. So drapes are best to pick from down to up. You can see what I'm doing. I'm picking it like so. And I've done it on this other side. Look at what we have, guys. Can you see the drapes? See how beautiful this is looking. So beautiful. And I think the fabric you use to do this also, determine the beauty of the drapes that are going to fall on it. So I'll go ahead and do the other side, and what I'll do next is to just stitch this side like this, turn my hem, because I'm going to attach this to the blouse that we are preparing. So like I said, if you have not watched that video, go and watch it, okay? Because the end result, we will all see it and see how beautiful everything's going to come out. All right. Now remember, we've already made notches on this sleeve that will guide us on how to pleat. We follow the line of the slash that we have already made. Remember, we'll slash and we'll spread. That doesn't mean that we're going to alter our original cap sleeve. After draping the sleeve, I have to remeasure. Now, how do I remeasure to make sure that what I have is going to match up to my sleeve? Now, coming to this particular place, remember we slash here like this. So the original sleeve start from here to this point. So what I did was to start measuring from here to this point. I'll carry it over from here and I'll start it from here. I'll place it here. I'll measure to this very end. I'll pick it. I'll go over to the next one. I'll measure it. I pick it. What I have now is 3.75. I'll continue from 3.75. I have 5 inches. I'll continue measuring it. I have 6 inches here. Now remember that this is the last part of our sleeve. I'll place it here and I'll measure it to the very end. and I have it correctly. So for this side of my sleeve, this is the original intake that we'll have. So now, because we're going to fit this sleeve into our dress, we have to make sure that whatever thing we are draping here aligns with the, the armhole curve that we have already made in our basic dress. So this is it here. I've draped it like so, and I pin it, and after pinning it like this, I measure it again to make sure that it matches up with the measurement I got from our basics sleeve here. So now that everything is correct, I'll go and sew it down now on 0.25 just to hold my drapes, to hold it down. So I'm going to sew it down on 0.25 all around. I'll finish up the hem of this sleeve. I don't have much to do here. I'll just fold in 0.5 and I'll sew it down. Then I'll close it up like so, and I'll sew the side before we'll finally go and attach it. So after preparing this one, I'll show you before we'll start preparing this one. All right, joining the sleeves, this is what we have here. I've sewn the hemline side, and I've sewn this one down, this part down on 0.25. And if we turn this over, this is likely what we are having here. Can you see the drapes? So yours can be fuller than this depending on the spread that you did, and it also depends on the type of fabric that you use. So this is it here. So I'll go ahead now and sew the other one so that we can wear it on our model and see what it looks like. Okay, let's check out our cowl sleeve. All right, look at the beautiful finish of our cowl sleeve. Can you see how it's sitting properly on her? And oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. Can you see the fullness of this sleeve is giving everything, guys? So beautiful. I hope you all love it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in our next tutorial. Bye.